Hey, it's your history homie Howser, and today we're in the city of Inglewood, standing in front of the world-famous Randy's Doughnuts. This giant donut has made cameos in hundreds of movies, music videos, print ads, and even video games. But did you know it wasn't always called Randy's Doughnuts? Or that it was once part of a chain of shops that all had giant donuts on their roof? Well, we're going to dig into that and a whole lot more here on Californiography. Before we get into the history, we need to talk a little bit about the architectural style of this building. Most published references describe Randy's Doughnuts as being an example of programmatic architecture, where a building is made to look like what's sold inside, or illustrates the name or theme of the business. Examples of this style are the Tamale Building in East LA, Big Show Repair in Bakersfield, or Tale of the Pup in Hollywood. Now, technically speaking, Randy's doesn't fall under this definition. The donut shop building itself is a mid-century modern-style drive-in that serves as a base for the giant donut on its roof, which some would say defines the giant donut as being a programmatic sign. But to me, that's just splitting hairs. The whole point of programmatic architecture was to draw attention to the business and advertise what's being sold there, and the massive donut on top of Randy's has certainly done that. The location that became Randy's Doughnuts was originally part of a chain called Big Donut Drive-In that was founded in 1950 by donut machine salesman Russell C. Wendell. Wendell saw an opportunity to cash in on LA's emerging car culture by opening up a donut chain where drivers could pull up to a service window and buy donuts without ever having to get out of their car. He figured the best way to draw in those drivers was by placing a giant donut on top of the building. He opened his first Big Donut Drive-In in the unincorporated community of Westmont in 1950. That shop and all others were designed by architect Harry J. Goodwin, and the giant donuts were created by structural engineer Richard Bradshaw, who used rolled steel bars covered with gunite to make the donuts. Wendell opened that first donut shop with great fanfare and by giving away thousands of donuts, something that he would do with all the openings of his locations. Having found success with that first location, he opened his second location, the one that would become Randy's Doughnuts, in Inglewood in 1953. Now here we have to take a little sidebar to talk about that date. All of Randy's Doughnuts boxes and their merch say world famous since 1952. But I'm not sure how they arrived at that year. Every source that I've found, newspaper articles, and even the county assessor's office lists the year of this building being built and opened as 1953. A few years ago, Randy's actually had to update their boxes and merch from saying world famous since 1962, when someone pointed out that the building had been around since the 1950s. Randy's updated the year to 1952 after what they said was an exhaustive, in-depth investigation. So they might know something that I haven't found yet. Now, let's get back to the history of the Big Donut Drive-In. After opening the second location in Inglewood, Wendell ramped up his expansion and opened a new location pretty much every year until 1960. He opened a third location in Gardena, a fourth in Culver City, a fifth in Compton, a sixth in North Hollywood, a seventh in Lenox, an eighth in Bellflower, a ninth in Van Nuys, and a 10th in Reseda. Now, the last two locations foreshadowed the future of the chain. When Wendell opened his 9th and 10th stores, he also opened a big taco shop adjacent to the donut shops. It was becoming clear that he wanted to branch out into the emerging fast food industry in Southern California. In 1965, he opened the first location of his new chain called Pup and Taco in Pasadena. Wanting to focus on expanding that chain, Wendell shifted focus away from his donut chain and began selling off all the individual shops in the 1970s. Wendell sold the first two locations, the Westmont and Inglewood ones, to Robert Eskow in 1976, who renamed the business to Randy's Doughnuts and Sandwiches after his son Randy. Eskow then sold the Westmont location to Gary Kindle in 1977, who changed the name to Kindle's Doughnuts, which still stands today. More on that later. In 1978, Eskow sold the Inglewood Randy's Doughnuts to his cousins Ron and Larry Weintraub, who kept the name and operated it as a single store for 37 years. It was during their tenure that Randy's gained its cult status. The Weintraub brothers made the shop available for filming, which led to hundreds of appearances in movies, TV shows, music videos, and even video games. In 2015, the brothers decided to retire and sell the business to somebody who would keep the tradition alive, but also move the brand forward. They sold Randy's to Mark Collegian, who has catapulted Randy's from one location to an international franchise. Randy's now has over 35 locations worldwide, including stores in the Philippines, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea. Every single one of the stores incorporates a big donut in some way. In those places where local regulations don't allow giant donuts on the roof, they find creative ways to pay homage to the giant donut of the original Inglewood location. And what happened to the other big donut locations? Of the 10 that Wendell opened, only 5 still remain standing. As I previously mentioned, the first big donut location became Kendall's Donuts. The second one in Inglewood is the Randy's Donuts that we all know and love. The third one in Gardena is now Donut King 2. No idea if there's a Donut King 1. The fifth one in Compton is now Dale's Donuts. And the 8th big donut ever in Bellflower doesn't even make donuts anymore. It's a bagel shop. While Russell C. Wendell may be more renowned for founding the pup and taco chain, his donut legacy lives on at Randy's and at the remaining former donut drive-ins all over the Southland. Thank you for joining me on today's trip to Inglewood to learn the history behind this sweet, iconic landmark. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Until next time when because remember, it's you and me, continue to explore the history that can be found in this great big backyard of ours called California. All right, see you soon.